We'll talk
Tonight,
later.
we honor one of the 14 Medal of Honor recipients from East Tennessee.
It's about like that.
Weapons expert Mike Evans says this 40-pound German-made machine gun spent decades hidden in the attic of a library in Massachusetts. It's a gun that, to Evans and many others, symbolizes the heroics of East Tennessee's most famous veteran, World War I Sergeant Alvin C. York.
He said that the gun was was an awful thing, and that it was, that men were going down like grass in front of a mowing machine. And it pretty much had them pinned down.
Back in 1918, on a battlefield in France, facing a hail of enemy fire, a then 30-year-old York charged the Germans with his bolt-action rifle. It's a weapon that, even in the hands of an expert marksman like York, could fire maybe 6 to 10 rounds a minute versus German machine guns firing 800 rounds a minute.
And reloading it and moving and trying not to get killed by this thing. There's a lot of run and gun, a lot of bob and weave. And the whole time he was begging them to put down their weapons. He didn't want to kill any more of them.
He killed probably 35 Germans, captured several machine guns, and did it all single-handedly.
Joe Benn, board member with the Museum of Appalachia, says Sergeant York was raised by a pacifist mother. York himself wrestled with the idea of fighting a war, but on the battlefield he showed little hesitation.
Alvin York stands there in a very select crowd of people as heroes who rose to the occasion far beyond the ordinary, and his name has endured for all of these years.
York's legend endured, but this piece of history connecting the celebrated sergeant to his famous charge was long forgotten. A fellow Army soldier in the First World War won permission to mail the gun home to Massachusetts.
It was actually paraded down the main street of Nahant, Massachusetts by the Boy Scouts of America in a red wagon and presented to the mayor of Nahant.
And the gun sat in the library attic for decades until a worker stumbled on it back in 2003 and word of his discovery spread.
It was quite a task to get that machine gun from Nahant, Massachusetts, all the way to East Tennessee. And here's the short version. First, the Museum of Appalachia here in East Tennessee made a small donation to the Nahant Public Library. The Nahant Public Library then transferred ownership to the police department. That department in Massachusetts then gave the weapon to the North Police Department here in East Tennessee. And from there, ownership was transferred one more time to the Museum of Appalachia. The weapon on loan for $1.
The whole process unfolded over close to a year and a half. A lot of effort, some might say, for a hunk of metal and wood with such a macabre history.
It's a gun, but probably the most amazing thing about it is that day, at that moment of history, to Sergeant Alvin York, this thing basically represented capture of the flag.
The Medal of Honor celebration in Knoxville kicks off with an opening breakfast and school visits tomorrow and runs through Saturday. Knoxville is the only other city besides Boston that has served as host city for that event more than once.